Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the Python. We have gone through the Python in the class 9 also, but with the revised syllabus you will see in the books comparatively with the last year's class 10. This year the syllabus has been little bit increased means some of the things has been introduced over there. So we will start from the scratch. I will not think that you are learn the Python in the class 9. We'll start from the beginning. What are the objectives of today's? What things we are going to learn? We are going to learn the syntax and the use of the if, syntax and use of the for, concept of string and concept of list. These two things has been included this year only. So we'll go for the first, we'll go for the if. Now here I have written a program, simple program of if. You have write that one, you have execute that one in the class 9. What? Accept a number and display it is an even or odd number. Very simple. But some things I want to say over here. If you work in the 3.7, in the book it has been written according to the lower version. If you write in the 3.7 or if you are writing in the Linux, you are using the Linux, so what will going to happen? We have to use this type of syntax over there. In the school we have the Linux, so we have to use this syntax. So what happens if you take the input with the input function only? It will make accept as a string. Maybe 25 you have entered, it has accepted, but it is accepted as a string. So you have accepted with input only. You have accepted two numbers with the input 25 and 26. Now what will happen? When we use the plus option, then it will be concatenate because it will accept it as a string, means 2526, but it should not be. So we have to use another function that is called the int function. What it will do? Whatever the input, if any kind of integer input has been taken with the input function, if it is a string, we don't have to convert that one. If it is an integer input, the int function is going to convert that one into the integer. Fine, we are going to use this one. If num modulo 2, I don't think I have to explain the function of the modulo. It will return the remainder is equal to 0, print even, else print odd. Now we know the indentation, because in the Python indentation is a very important syntax. Now if you use the Python IDLE, what I am using it over here because I don't have the Linux in my machine, then automatically, suppose after giving the colon when I entered, suppose this one the colon has been given, after colon when I entered, automatically the cursor will come over here. Only in case of else, if you give after this one, if you give that one, else cursor will be over here. Ideally is not able to manage the else, otherwise it is exactly place you, the cursor will be placed where you have to write, maintaining the indentation. So what you will do? Else you will manage, else will be just after the if. Now if you are using the notepad, then what you have to do? You have to give the indentation by your own. What will be the amount of indentation? 1 tab space. If you press tab, 1 tab space indentation you have to give it. Now we will see the elif. Elif what? Else if. How to use the else if in the Python? It will be elif. I have taken 3 numbers. If num greater than num2, what is the program? Program will display the greatest number out of 3. Very easy. If num greater than num2 and num greater than num3. Now AND operator. Here another benefit is there, you are able to learn how to use the AND. AND and OR in the Python, it should be written like AND and OR. We know the functions of the AND and OR. AND means if both the condition will true, the next statement will going to be executed. Next statement means this prints one. If both the condition means if num is greater than num2 and num is greater than num3, then this print command will going to be executed. This is the concept of the AND. And OR means if any one condition is true, then it will going to be executed. So what will happen? Num1, num greater than num2 and num greater than num3, print this one. If any other things are there, then elif, ELIF, elif. So you have understood this one. So we'll go to the new things or the new topic. For we have used. I have written several syntax of the for. Now this one print I have written ... It is not the part of the program. For making the output separate, I have write this one. Remember one thing, don't be confused. I have written print within the double quotes ... after each and every for. It is to separate the output, because otherwise the output all will be together and it is very difficult for me to make you understand. Now for I in range, we know that one range is a function. Range is a function. It is used with the for. Now you can ask me one question, for cannot be executed without the range? Yes. After this one will come over there where we are not going to use the range with the for. Range function, what will do? It will create a range, means 1 to 6, 0 to this. Okay. Now here what happens? Generally we have seen in the range we are given the 2 values or the 3 values. If it is 2 values, first value will be the starting value and the last is the end value. But here I have written only 6. From which number it will going to be start? It will going to be start the 0. By default, if the user is not specified anything, by default the start value for the range function is 0. By default the start value of the range function is 0. Here I have not mentioned any start value, so it will start from the 0 and it will finish at 5. Now why 5? Why not 6? Because we know that one in the for the last value is not going to be displayed. Means always you have to think about this. If you want to display 1 to 5, you have to give 1 to 6, because the last value is not going to be displayed in the for. Here what happens? The next, come to the next. For I in range, here I have given the start value and the end value also. Fine. So it has been printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the next one, last one, I have given the start value, end value and the step value. By default, the step value will be 1. If you are not specified anything, what will be the step value? Step value will be 1. Here I have specified this one and this is the output of this one, third one. Now we will see some different kinds of for. What I have told just right now. See that one, what is this? This is called the list. What is the list and what is the string? I am going to discuss with you just after this one. What is going to happen? Here I have assigned some values. List is a comma separated values, combination of the comma separated values. Comma separated values means all the numbers are going to be separated with the comma of any kind. Means here I have entered 2, I can enter here another letter also. That will be in the single quotes or double quotes. It can be combination of letter and the numbers, any kind of values. Now I have written for I in L1. Here you will able to see some variation. Int for I in L1 print I, means the loop will continue up to the last value of the list. How much the loop will continue? Up to the last value. Here it will showing you the last value. Earlier we have seen when we are using the range is not showing the last value. Here what will happen? 2, 3, 4, 5. What are the elements? Already I have initialized this one. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have written for I in L1. Print I. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what will going to happen? Loop will continue up to the last value of the list and all the values are going to be displayed. And what will happen? One by one, the values are going to be assigned to the I and I is going to be displayed. First, what will happen? 2 is assigned to the I has been printed. Next, 3 has been assigned to the I and I has been printed. Now the next one, str. What is the str? It is a string. What it is? It is called the string. What is a string? String is a combination of character, space and the alphabets. Inside a string, there can be character, there can be combination of space and character, there can be the combination of space, character and the numbers. That is called the string. String actually it has been saying consecutive characters. Now here also I have used this one for I in str. Str means the string. The loop will continue until the last value of the string. What is the last value of the string? APPLE. E is the last one. Up to the E it will continue. Print I. So what happens? APPLE. What will happen? One by one the letter will be assigned to the I. A will be assigned to the I first. A will be printed. Then P. This is the variation of the for. Now this has been included in your book and in the syllabus. Now we are going to elaborately discuss with the list. See this one. What is a list? A list in a Python represent a list of comma separated values of any data type. A list in Python represent a list of comma separated values of any data type. Any data type can be, list can be the combination of any data type. And this is, what is this? This is an imaginary picture of the list. These are the elements. Means what inside the list, these are has been stored over there. And what is this? These are called the subscript. These are called the subscript. This is the element what you have stored and this is the subscript. Suppose the name of the list is L1. L1 0. What it has been stored? 7. L1 1. In the third bracket we have to write L1 1. It has been stored 2. L1 2. What is that been stored? 6. L1 3. It has been stored 9. Means all the memory locations are separated because list is a combination of memory locations. Lot of things has been stored. Each memory location also can be separated. What it can be done? Each memory location can be separated. What is called? This is called the subscript number. Suppose you have a book, computer book. Think it is a list. Page number 1, something has been stored. Page number 2, something has been stored. Page number 3, something has been stored over there. Like that, it is a consecutive memory location and with the subscript number, all the memory locations are separated. So what is this? 7, 2, 6, whatever is written in the green, these are the elements. And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are called the subscript number, means identification of the memory locations. And it will start with the 0. If you ask me why the 0, it will start and I am not doing anything. The system has been assigned the first memory location of the list is 0. Now we will see this one. Suppose this is the declaration of the list. I have declared that one. The value can be accepted in two ways. Value can be accepted in two ways. One is, this is static. One is dynamic from the user. That we are going to discuss afterwards. So I have assigned the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See this one. I have written print data 0. In the 0 location, what has been stored? 1. It has been displayed. Print data 1. In the 1 location, what has been stored? 2. See this one. Print data 2. In the second location, what has been stored? 3. Once again, see this one. 1. I told you the subscript. The memory locations are separated by the subscript number, just like the book. In a page of book, Book is 1. Name of the book is 1. Suppose it is a science book. Page number 1, something has been stored. Page number 2, but it has been separated with the page number. Like that. Here list, lot of things has been stored, and it will be all the memory locations are separated with the subscript number, and it will start from the data 0. What happens? The first element of the list has been stored in the 0 location. 1, it has been stored the 2. 2, it has been stored the 3. Others I have not printed over there. Go through the video minutely. Thank you very much.